Coming up on Mountain News this morning, yesterday officials broke ground on the first home being built with money from the Rural Housing Trust Fund. And the Commonwealth continues to suffer over the long-term effects of an AMT shortage.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:30 on November 15th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, you said it earlier, a few more days of that sunshine when we're really still desperately needing that rain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We could definitely use that for sure, and hopefully we would get there pretty soon, but not soon enough as the burn bans increased yesterday. Downtown Hazard, Triangle Park, not looking too bad this morning. A few clouds out there. We'll continue to watch that trend heading deeper into it. London Corbin Airport looking a little bit on the cloudy but quiet side this morning. We'll continue to watch that as well. We're looking at temperatures at the London Corbin Airport at 42. Hazard sensor is offline this morning, but you've got 39 in Jonesville and Irvin, 36 in Ashland and Grundy, and 37 in Clintwood. Back into the 40s at Harlan, 52, the only spot there in Wise. And look at some of these temperature differences from this time yesterday. 13 degrees warmer in Harlan, double digits warmer in London, Middlesboro, and Jonesville, and then everybody's at least a little bit warmer this morning across the region, across the state and region. All right. Breakfast forecast. Going to be a little bit in the middle of the road there when we talk about temperatures because we've got a big swing again this morning. But again, I think we're in the mid-40s for a lot of folks, and we'll see those clouds hang around through about mid-morning before we start to see some sun peek out from behind them. Olivia?
All righty. Thank you, Brandon. Two more counties here in the mountains are now under burn bans. Officials in Leslie and Dickinson counties have declared all outdoor burning illegal due to the dry conditions. Counties already under burn bans are Breathitt, Clay, Magoffin, Knox, Morgan, Whitley, Johnson, Lawrence, Floyd, Pike, Letcher, Knott, and Harlan. You can find the full list of burn bans in effect in our region on our website at WYMT.com. Rebuilding efforts continue to press on following the July 2022 flood. Just last month, Governor Beshear announced $13.5 million from the Rural Housing Trust Fund for nonprofits in Eastern Kentucky who have made efforts to rebuild. And the Housing Development Alliance received $2.5 million of that funding, which will help build 17 homes and repair 15. Yesterday, I was at the first groundbreaking.
It's a good day, and it's actually a really, really good day because today we're celebrating starting a home for Melissa and her daughters and their husky.
A groundbreaking day for the Neese family, one that Melissa says is a hope-filled step forward.
We're in like a little camper right now with the Kentucky Emergency Management, and I'm very appreciative to have the place to stay, you know, the roof over our heads. But this is going to be absolutely wonderful to have, you know, like I said, a big kitchen to cook in and your own bedroom and your own space. That's what I look forward to the most.
And as HDA, local and state officials celebrated with the family, Senator Brandon Smith explains what days like this continue to prove.
The flood that tried to flatten us helped us rise because our string was these wonderful groups that we have that held on to us and did not let us get blown away. So sometimes the resistance that wants to destroy you can actually turn to be the thing that's going to make this an incredible subdivision with families and voices and echoes of a much better time than what we just came through.
And Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman says they will continue showing up for days like this as they continue bringing Kentuckians together.
You know, the biggest problems that we face don't care what your political beliefs are. All that matters is that you show up for people, no questions asked, and do the work of helping making their lives better. Melissa, you're worth it, and your family's worth it. And showing up today and being able to celebrate this progress with you, I couldn't think of a better way to spend a beautiful day in Eastern Kentucky.
The Neese family hopes to move in by spring. This is the first of 17 homes that HDA will rebuild using the Rural Housing Trust Fund. They will also be repairing 15 for a total of 32 projects supported by the fund. Slavery was abolished in 1865, but it is still on the books in several states, including here in Kentucky. One youth group in Lexington is hoping to change that. During the past year, the youth group at South Elkhorn Christian Church has stepped up in front of those in the city and state.
I can't overstate how important it is for this kind of thing to bring people together, to show that a deeper way of love is possible and can make real change in the world.
Throughout the year, they have made strides to create change, he says, pushing back on the stigma of negativity placed over their generation. Kentucky is just one of many states across the country feeling the effects of a shortage of EMTs and paramedics. As Samantha Valentino shows us, some parts of the Commonwealth are struggling more than others.
We're seeing quite a problem here in the state of Kentucky.
According to the American Ambulance Association, organizations across the country are struggling to fill paramedic positions. Eddie Sloan is the executive director of the Kentucky Board of Emergency Medical Services. He says of the roughly 4,600 licensed paramedics in Kentucky, only about 2,700 are participating in the workforce.
We've been certifying about 125, especially paramedics per year. We've been losing about 150 that chose not to relicense or to participate in the field anymore.
While Sloan says there isn't one area of the state that isn't struggling with the shortage, rural areas are feeling it the most.
Even a particular service may have enough staff, but maybe their neighbors or an agency in that same county has difficulty finding staff. It's certainly more in the rural areas.
But why is it so hard to find staff? Sloan says pay is partially to blame. The Bureau of Labor Statistics lists EMTs as one of the lowest paying jobs in healthcare. According to the American Ambulance Association, low pay was the reason about 1/3 of all EMTs left the field back in 2021.
As we look at what inflation has done, you can go get a job making very similar pay with very similar benefits and not be out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning navigating stairways and working holidays in the rain and the muck and otherwise.
In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Sloan says Kentucky is losing about 25 more paramedics than they are gaining each year. We have received an update from Kentucky State Police in an investigation into a deadly officer-involved shooting. It happened on October 27th. KSP troopers say one man, 51-year-old Dallas Brandon Kane of Somerset, reportedly pointed a handgun at officers. Investigators say Kane refused officers' commands to put down the firearm. KSP says officers saw the gun as a threat and shot and killed Kane. And we are following a developing story out of Jackson County. Officials with the coroner's office say a man was found dead in a ditch along Highway 421 yesterday morning. Right now, they do not know how he died. We are told his body will be taken to Frankfort for an autopsy. The sheriff's office says no other information is available right now. One man is recovering following a fire near the Johnson-Martin County line. It reportedly happened around 9:30 Monday night in the Chestnut community. Officials say the original call came in saying someone was trapped inside the burning home. Crews from the Williamson Fire Department arrived and reportedly found the man was able to get out but suffered serious burns. He was taken to a hospital. No word on what caused the fire. One person is facing charges following an incident at a Christmas event in Claiborne County, Tennessee last weekend. It happened Sunday at the Christmas Tractor Parade on Main Street in Tazewell. Police reportedly took a suspect into custody to make sure everyone stayed safe at the event. Officers have not released the identity of the suspect, who they say was a vendor at the event. Longtime 5th District Congressman Rogers has filed for re-election. The Dean of the House of Representatives says he wants to continue to serve as a champion for the people of Southern and Eastern Kentucky. He said, quote, Eastern Kentucky is thriving with more job opportunities, greater access to rural broadband, better infrastructure, rapid growth in our tourism industry, and we're launching the next generation into a brighter future. Rogers will be 86 years old next month and has served in Congress since 1981. Attorney General-elect Russell Colemans says he has a team of diverse people that will help in the transition process. The Republican was elected last Tuesday. He says his team is made up of prosecutors, attorneys, public servants, and nonprofit leaders. He says they represent interest from across Kentucky. From now until January, Coleman says his team will be tasked with transitioning into a role that he says will be focused on protecting Kentucky families.
These men and women represent the best of our Commonwealth in their various industries, from their regions, and in public service.
Coleman says his deputy attorney general will be former U.S. Attorney and Eastern Kentucky native Rob Duncan, and his senior counsel is former state senator Will Schroeder. Coming up, Prince is having some of his most iconic outfits go up for sale at an auction.
And the forecast has some clouds this morning and some sunshine later, but the fire danger continues the same off and on throughout the day. So we'll keep you posted on that. I have the latest forecast and when we could see some rain in about 3 minutes.